Number 10 Alexander Lacazette, Arsenal. Wages, £170,000 per week. It had been a while since Arsene Wenger signed a top striker at Arsenal. Olivier Giroud and Lucas Podolski had arrived back in 2012 to replace Robin van Persie, and since then there hasn't been a legitimate star leading the line. Danny Welbeck had failed to progress while Theo Walcott has been on the decline. Wenger decided enough was enough and spent a club record £52.7 million to sign Alexander Lacazette. The Frenchman has scored 8 goals in the league so far, but more importantly he has worked well as a creative fulcrum up front with his hold-up play that helps bring Alexis Sanchez, 7 goals, and Mesut Ozil, 4 goals, into the final third. Number 9 Philippe Coutinho. Wages, £180,000 per week. Liverpool deserve a lot of credit for the way they handled the Coutinho to Barcelona saga. No matter how much the Catalan club offered for the Brazilian, even as the sum went up to 9 figures, the Anfield club stood their ground and claimed he was not for sale. The Reds did not need the money. They knew his contributions on the pitch were far more important. Although he may end up leaving the club next summer, he is theirs for the season. Coutinho had signed a contract extension that would see him stay at the club till 2022, and his performances this season will only allow Liverpool to fetch a higher transfer fee when he eventually does leave. Number 8 Eden Hazard, Chelsea. Wages, £200,000 per week. He may be one of Chelsea's smallest players, but he is easily their biggest star. The Belgian forward has been instrumental in 2 title challenges and continues to impress under Antonio Conte. The 26-year-old may not have the numbers to match the other enterprising forwards in the Premier League this season, but he has still managed to score 5 goals and grab 2 assists. His combination play with Alvaro Morata up top after Conte changed the formation to a 3-5-1-1 has also seen Chelsea become more dynamic in attack. Number 7 David De Gea, Manchester United. Wages, £210,000 per week. No player is more crucial to Manchester United than David De Gea is right now. The squad is still finding its feet under Jose Mourinho, but there is no doubt that De Gea is truly world-class no matter which manager comes in. The Spanish goalkeeper extended his contract at the club when a move to Real Madrid fell through on deadline day in the summer of 2015, and he has since put it behind him to put in stellar performances between the sticks. Number 6 Kevin De Bruyne, Manchester City. Wages, £220,000 per week. The Manchester City midfielder is on course to pick up the PFA Player of the Year following his performances this season, and deservedly so. After 20 games in the league, he has 6 goals and 9 assists, with City currently on an unbeaten run which includes an 18-match winning run. The Belgian midfielder is what makes Pep Guardiola's team tick. Alongside David Silva, their possession game has become unstoppable to the point where teams only sit back with damage limitation on their minds rather than attacking City. De Bruyne is very happy at the club and has a contract until 2021. Number 5 Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Manchester United. Wages, £220,000 per week. The Swedish striker kept Manchester United afloat in the Premier League last season as the rest of the attack floundered, and despite his injury in April, he still finished the club's top goal scorer with 28 goals in all competitions. The knee injury seemed career-threatening at the time, but the 36-year-old still bounced back and returned earlier than expected. United saw his progress and offered him another 1-year deal as a result, and he even picked up the number 10 shirt vacated by Wayne Rooney. Number 4 Yaya Toure, Manchester City. Wages, £230,000 per week. At the age of 34, most players would be considered over the hill, and Yaya Toure seemed to fall into that category as he was sidelined for other options in midfield. The tip between his agent and the club did not help matters much either, and Pep Guardiola almost froze him out of the squad completely. However, both parties seem to have put it all behind them, and Toure's apology on behalf of his agent went a long way in rekindling the love for the Ivorian midfielder. Although he is no longer the first choice, Guardiola decided to keep him on for his experience and provide squad depth as they challenge on all fronts. Number 3 Sergio Aguero, Manchester City. Wages, £240,000 per week. A lot has been said about whether Sergio Aguero fits into Pep Guardiola's philosophy at Manchester City, but the Catalan manager still looks to the Argentine striker whenever they need goals. Gabriel Jesus has started in his place up front a number of times in the past year, but Aguero still reigns supreme with 12 goals compared to Jesus' 8 goals. However, there is still some tension between the two, as the 29-year-old is not accustomed to playing second fiddle. He is the club's record goal scorer, and warming the bench during the peak years of his career may eventually see him make a move, possibly even this summer. Number 2 Romelu Lukaku, Manchester United. Wages, £250,000 per week. Manchester United needed a striker when they realized Zlatan Ibrahimovic would not be available for months on end, and so they broke the record for a transfer from one Premier League club to another by signing Romelu Lukaku for £75 million. That's not all, it would also include £15 million in add-ons. The big Belgian striker started well, scoring 4 times in his first 4 games. But he has since been criticized for being a flat-track bully, scoring against weaker teams but failing to turn up against the bigger teams. Number 1 Paul Pogba, Manchester United. Wages, £290,000 per week. Manchester United were also accused of inflating the transfer market when they agreed to pay £89.5 million to break the transfer record to sign Paul Pogba from Juventus. A year later, it only confirms that they were ahead of the curve with transfer fees reaching ridiculous ceilings. However, the criticism was justified to a certain extent because they had let him go for free after all, albeit thanks to his agent Mino Raiola.